broadcast is now starting. All attendees are in listen-only mode.
Good afternoon. Thank you for joining us for our weekly webinar here at American Business Systems. As you can see on the screen here, today's topic is discussing how to market to doctors without being a salesperson. This is one of the common questions and concerns that folks have who are considering moving forward with the ABS license, and so it's a great topic for us to cover, and we believe that you guys will definitely enjoy the content and the material that we're going to be covering today. My name is Dirk Davis. I'm a licensing consultant here with American Business Systems. I've likely spoken with some of you that are on the call with us here today, and we're glad, like I said, we're glad to have you. But even if you are meeting with other representatives, we'll be able to help entertain your questions here today and get those questions answered the best that we can. If I could, just to make sure that we're coming through loud and clear and not having any issues, for those of you that are on the call with us, if you would please look up there to where the little hand symbol is on the control panel to the right. And please indicate to us by clicking there that you are able to hear us. And I do see the hands going up there. Thank you, Maher. Namai, I hope I'm pronouncing that correctly. Durval, yeah, thank you, folks. You'll see also there just below that same panel there, that's where you'll also be able to type in your questions as we go through the webinar. We're going to do our very best to answer every question that comes in today. For any that we don't get to, of course, your representative will get back with you after the webinar, and they'll help answer those questions for you at that point. But again, feel free to at any time during the webinar click on the box there, type your questions, and like I said, we'll work to get those things answered. One of the things that we're very proud of at ABS is over the last 20 years of doing this, that we have been able to work with folks from all walks of life, from a variety of backgrounds. Most of the people that become ABS licensees have never owned their own business before. Most have never had any involvement in the medical industry of any sort, much less medical billing. But again, over the last 20 years, we've developed some very good methods for helping folks, again, of all backgrounds, to become very successful with our business. We're most commonly referred to and thought of when people think of medical billing. We're one of the nation's largest, if not the largest, and again, we're very proud to be known for that. But the fact is, our licensees are actually revenue cycle managers. You'll see here just some of the various services that our licensees provide to the doctors they work with, and each of them focuses on a different aspect of the doctor's practice, works on bringing efficiencies and lower costs to that area, and of course, improving the profitability of that doctor's practice, which, as many of you may know, is a very big struggle right now for doctors to continue to maintain that profit margin. All of our services are web-based. They can be accessed from anywhere on the planet with any internet-enabled device, as long as you can gain access to the internet. So that's huge for a variety of reasons, certainly for you as the licensee, but also, and as importantly, for the doctors that are using them. That's one of the struggles that doctors face these days, is that they have no control, very little management capabilities. They lack a lot of reporting capabilities. So again, us having entirely web-based services is a huge benefit for everybody involved. Now, I know some of you may be coming to us via YouTube, or people find out about us from all sorts of sources. But for those of you that haven't done so yet, we'd like to invite you to go through our virtual brochure. You can gain access to it by going to our main website, absystems.com. You'll see either of the, you can click on either of the two orange options there. We'll get you a username and password sent out to you, and you'll be able to go through our virtual brochure. All sorts of good stuff in there. Of course, we delve deeper into each of the services that we offer. You'll also find some video testimonials in there from some of our existing licensees that also make their contact information available, so you can contact them at any time and figure out, learn more about how they got to where they've gotten, and maybe apply it to your situation as well. But through the virtual brochure, like I said, you'll learn a little bit more about various services. You'll see the different sections here. We've got 7 different sections that you can go through. Each of them, again, talking about a little different aspect of our offering, and help you to learn, like I said, more about what it is that you're considering here. For those of you that are interested, you can find that we are listed with the Fort Worth, Texas Better Business Bureau. We are located just on the north side of Fort Worth, and you'll see here there at the bottom left that we have an A+ rating with the Better Business Bureau, and that, of course, is the highest rating possible. And so, again, if you want to check further into that, feel free to check out the Fort Worth Better Business Bureau. Now, a few times a year, before I get to that, for those of you that haven't already, we welcome you to visit us here locally. For those of you that are flying in, let us know in advance. We can pick you up at the airport and bring you over to the office. But we do welcome you to visit us locally, like I said here, if you'd like to do that. We do one of the very first things that we do for our new licensees is we invite them to attend our 1-week live training workshop that takes place here in the Fort Worth, Texas area. We offer these classes every few weeks, and we try to limit them to no more than 20 attendees at a time. We keep the classes very small and intimate. Provide a lot of hands-on, one-on-one type training, and our goal is for when you walk out of that class on that Friday afternoon that you are ready to go. Own your business, market your business, run your business, and be as successful as you want to be. For those of you that are already in the process of scheduling a time to attend our training, if the week of September 22nd is on your radar, you want to make your reservations quickly. Our last few classes have sold out. We anticipate that being the case going forward as well. In fact, we've already got verbal commitments for a lot more seats than we have available for this next class. So, again, if you're one of the ones that wants to be in the September 22nd training class, make your reservations as quickly as you can, and let us know so that we can make sure that we've got your spot held for you. Now, we're honored today to welcome our founder and CEO, Patrick Phillips. For those of you that maybe have read Patrick's books or have talked to him, you know that he's very passionate about this business, and he has built a very respectable company here over the last 2 decades. And again, we're glad to have him on here. For those of you that maybe not have had a chance to read his books before, he's published a number of them. Let us know. We've got ebook versions of several of these, and we'd be happy to email those to you. Of course, these books speak to a variety of things, but certainly the Cash Crunch to Cash Flow talks directly about again, some of the struggles that today's doctors are facing, and of course talks about the opportunities that we offer to help doctors turn that ship around. Patrick's been published, like I said, not only just in books, but also in a number of magazines and various publications. He's actually on the editorial board of the BC Advantage magazine, the Billing and Coding Advantage magazine, and here's just another one of the recent articles that he's published where it talks more about the Affordable Care Act and how it's actually a benefit to our licensees, and can certainly help you as you work to grow your business. Anybody that's interested in receiving maybe a copy of this particular article or any of the ones that he's published, let us know, and we'll certainly get that sent out to you. So I guess it's with that that I would like to welcome Patrick onto the call. If Patrick's on here, Patrick, are you with us?
Yes, I am. Hey, how you doing today, Dirk?
Doing fantastic. Good afternoon. Glad to have you. It's hard to believe it's already Wednesday. I know a lot of us already have the long Labor Day weekend on the brain, and so it's approaching rapidly. But we're glad to have you on here today, and look forward to talking about a subject that's very close to our potential licensees, our prospective licensees. It's a topic at hand, on top of mind for them for sure.
Yes, and I just realized we still have Eric's name up there on the board.
Oh, well, hey, I've been called a lot worse, so I'm okay with that.
Okay, well, it just dawned on me that I turned on my video camera here, and I guess you hadn't turned yours on, or maybe you're still having trouble with your eyes there. You were having some hay fever or something earlier.
I am. I look like I'm at a funeral. It's not a good day for me from the from the eyes standpoint, so I think I may stay dark through this call.
All right, then I'll just turn mine off.
Okay.
Let's get into this. I think I lost control there. Okay, let's talk about the whole topic today about 7 secrets to marketing to doctors without being a salesperson. Now, it's interesting, Dirk, that a lot of people are still, thinking that when you go out and build a business that's approaching doctors, that there's a lot of selling to do. And that's why we put this slide up here, because most people, honestly, are not salespeople. We realize that. And, it's a frightening thing for people to think about that, isn't it?
Oh, no doubt about it. I mentioned earlier in the call here that that's one of the main questions that I get from everybody that I speak with. Do I have to sell? What's involved? How do I get doctors? Things along those lines. So yeah, it's a big concern.
Yeah, they're concerned about it because obviously, if you don't know how to get a client, then you're not really in business, right? No matter how much you may play like you're running a business, you're not in business if you don't have clients. So I always tell people, well, look, let's start off with this thought, because we want to get on the same, wavelength that everybody else is, and that is, what do you think of when you think of sales? To me, I found this little graphic that I think illustrates perfectly what most people right now are probably thinking about sales. At least I do when I think about sales. It's all the words that you see coming up here on the screen, right? It starts with slimy. Dishonest, challenging. These are a survey that was done, and then they just created this word graphic from that. Pushy is the big word that is in most people's minds, I guess. Sleazy, manipulative, annoying. That's the way I feel when I go into a store and somebody says, hello, can I help you? I know that it's a salesperson, probably on commission, trying to sell me something. And so I always tell them, yes, the best thing you can do is to go get me a cup of coffee. Well, anyway, the point is that I think a lot of people feel this way about sales. So that's why I got this quote here from Jeffrey Gitomer. He is a sales trainer, and he says, he's talking to salespeople. If you approach with information about you, then they consider you a salesman. Information about you. But if you, sorry, the graphic went away there. Here it comes back. Ooh, that's a slow one, isn't it? There we go.
A little slow.
So if you approach with information about you, they consider you a salesman. If you approach with ideas and answers, then they consider you a resource. So really, that's what we teach people in our business, folks. It's not about the selling. If you are a salesperson, when you come to our class, we'll tell you to try to forget everything you know. Because if you try to approach this business, approaching doctors and office managers with a sales attitude of any kind, you will probably fail. Because if you're trying to sell them something, then it means that you don't know what their problems are. It's not about selling, it's about developing relationships. And we teach our licensees to build relationships with the people in their community and grow their business based on credibility and trust. People are not going to do business with you unless they trust you, and we're going to show you how to build that trust.
Well, you're right, and even going in with the mindset of selling a doctor something, that's a huge mistake, because first things first, you don't even know what they might be needing. So that is while we do train our folks to take a very consultative approach, we got to find out more about their practice before we can even know what may be a benefit to them, what sort of services they could utilize. So it's not about the selling for sure.
Yeah, and if people approach the doctor with this question here, for example, hey doc, do you need some billing help? The answer is what this doctor is giving you. No, thumbs down. I do not need any billing help. Why is that? Because, well, they think they're doing their billing okay right now, right? I mean, they're either doing it in their own office with their own staff and their own software, or they've already decided that it's cheaper and better probably to outsource it to a specialist, like you. But so I ask people, well, look, if this is true, one or the other is true, then how is it that our licensees can go out and actually sign up doctors? Well, it's because of what you see here. We train and position you as a revenue cycle specialist. Why don't you kind of explain, Dirk, what we mean by that term?
Well, again, it's looking at the entire revenue model of a doctor's practice. It's not just about the billing; it's also about patient collections. Could involve marketing. Could involve simple coding concerns and issues and errors that they are experiencing. So It's taking a look at the entire practice as a business and looking for the ways that we can help fill those gaps where they're losing cash. The profit margins of our doctors are lower and are continue to be crunched like never before. But again, it's not just one aspect of their practice. It's the total business that typically needs help.
Yeah, they've got leaks in their profits, so to speak. As the subtitle of my book says, we find those leaks and figure out how to plug up those leaks. So we're solving, as you said, Dirk, not just the aspect of the bills that we send out to the insurance companies or to Medicare, but every aspect of the doctor where there's revenue. So we go after bad accounts, old money that's lost or at least unaccounted for and uncollected. And we go after the patient's payments as well. We have a way of actually tracking that within our system. So we can follow up on that and make sure that the doctor gets every penny that's due them. And of course, the reason for that is we teach our licensees to charge a percentage of all the money that's actually collected. So there's the motivation that our licensees have, right? It's to get more money in because it makes more money for the doctor, but it also makes them more money as well.
Absolutely. A definite win-win.
Yeah. So we do that, of course, through our live demos. Now, folks, you're actually looking at a screenshot here of our licensee support site that you'll have access to as an ABS licensee, full of all kinds of hours of training, videos, webinars, documents, agreements, marketing materials, all kinds of stuff. But we're showing you here that we are doing actually for our licensees live demos. Now, why is that important? Because you don't have to do any selling. What we do is teach you to set up these live demos with doctors. You do that online using an online contact form like you see here, and you actually register that doctor for a live demo. Our technical people actually do those demos for you between you and the doctor and themselves. So, for example, we're showing the system there, a screenshot of it. On the left, on the right, you see a doctor watching the demonstration. And above that is the licensee couple who invited the doctor to the webinar. So you get to sit at your computer, the doctor is at their computer, and you're watching the exact same demo. Now, Dirk, explain a little bit what that demo is all about and how come that's so cool that we do that for them.
Well, it really lets the doctor and her staff see exactly how it works and how it would be able to be implemented into their current day-to-day operations. They already know how they're doing it, and this shows them how they can be doing it much more efficiently, much quicker. And so it really lets them take a virtual tour in the driver's seat, so to speak, and figure out exactly how this is going to benefit them. I've sat in on a number of these live demos for prospective doctors, and it doesn't take but just a few minutes before they really start realizing the potential benefits, and you may even hear some oohs and some ahs, but a lot of things that we show them they didn't even know were possible. So it goes a long way towards helping that licensee secure that business, secure that account, and again, it gives the doctor and her staff a really good feel for exactly how it will be working.
Well, yes, and the doctors, of course, love to see the latest technology. So when you invite them to see the type of technology that we have, the leading edge cloud-based system that we have, it's because we want them to see that the reason we're going to get them more money in is because of some of the cool stuff that's built into our system. And it's kind of hard to go into all of that here on this webinar today, but guys, you should ask your ABS rep if you can see a demo yourself before even coming to our training of the system. And then you will see exactly what the doctor is going to be seeing and why doctors, well, half of them, sign up once they see these demos because they realize that this is the answer they've been looking for. This is the real-time accountability that they can have anytime from any device that's connected to the internet 24/7, and they love it.
Absolutely.
Of course, the cool part also, Dirk, is our technical people, of course, are presenting themselves as if they are working for you as a part of your team, as a part of your company, as a licensee. And we answer all the questions. The doctor asks questions, we answer them all, so you don't have to do anything but just kind of listen in like a little fly on the wall there. And then at the end, when the doctor says, well, that sounds pretty good, looks great, what do I do next? You just need to be ready to follow up with that doctor and do your proposal as we teach you to do, and go in and show them what it takes to get started with us. So it's all pretty cool. Now I've got some screenshots here that we actually have as a presentation for our licensees, but I put them in this webinar today just so you kind of can see that part of our presentation to the doctor, your presentation I should say, is showing them the next generation in revenue recovery. So we have slides that talk about our iClaim EMRX system. The iClaim is the billing part. The EMRX is the electronic medical records part of our system that they utilize when they're seeing the patient. And it tells them that it's an all-in-one practice management, billing, and EMR system. There's over 4,500 providers in the U.S. currently utilizing our system. It's private labeled for you as an ABS licensee, so you're the only one out there offering iClaim and EMRX. And of course, it's very secure. It's certified, compatible with all the things that are out there in the marketplace. So if the doctor is currently using an EMR or a billing system, we can integrate with that system through ours because it is cloud-based. And of course, it's very secure for HIPAA reasons, for the Health Insurance Portability and Accountability Act, and certified to be, HIPAA compliant and very secure. It's compatible with all the PCs and Mac browsers that are out there. It's iPad optimized. That is, it's written, as you can see there in the illustration, so that it actually runs on an iPad perfectly. Dirk, I just read about Apple just about to release a new iPad, by the way, that's, I think the biggest one now is like 9.7 inches. This is going to be like 12.7 inches. So it's much larger screen. And the doctors absolutely love these things, don't they?
Oh, they love it. Yeah. I mean, the ability to conduct a patient encounter there with the iPad in your hand and maintaining that eye contact with the patient, and the finger touch accessibility of it all. They've never been able to conduct their patient encounter while documenting simultaneously like that. So they do. They absolutely love it.
I just talked with a licensee, by the way, who still has his full-time job. He hasn't got enough clients to be able to quit it, but that's because he works for IBM and makes a six-figure income. In their cloud division, by the way, everything is moving to the cloud. And he says that Microsoft actually tried to get into this space, the medical space, and decided that was not something that they wanted to get into because other people have already got head starts, like us.
Yeah.
So the nice thing is you can access our system, of course, from anywhere, 24/7. From any device, even your iPhone or any smartphone, of course, can access the system. So the doctors love that because they can be out on the golf course and look at their schedule and see when their next appointment is. And of course, it works on, like I said, PCs and Macs equally. It's just it's system agnostic.
Yep. And not only just the schedule, but they having the ability to real-time reporting capabilities and things along those lines. I mean, it gives the doctor the opportunity to manage their business like they've never had the chance before. A lot of even doctors that are already outsourcing, typically they are using some fairly antiquated systems and methods and don't have that real-time access to their business. So, again, just another big benefit of having everything web-based.
Yeah, the doctor may have a computer system in their office, that they've been using, but it's probably not cloud-based, and it may not be in real time, even if it is. Through our built-in clearinghouse, we have the ability to show the doctor in real time the exact status of where the claim is in being paid. And they do love that because if you give them access to it, through the interface, give them a login and ID and password and so forth, they can look at that status of the claims anytime they want to from anywhere, including connecting to all the major labs that are out there. So they can view and order the results from the labs from any web-connected device. Everything's moving this way. Like we said, they can view their schedule anytime, anywhere, and check in the status. And the time on the screen there actually tells you how long a patient's been waiting. I like that part because I've been waiting in patient waiting rooms for some time now this year. Color icons reflect the insurance eligibility status. Tell them about that, Eric. Dirk, that's a pretty cool feature, wouldn't you think?
Absolutely. Certainly a time saver from the doctor staff's point of view, but also, of course, it lessens the likelihood of a doctor seeing a patient that doesn't have valid insurance at that particular time. Again, our primary focus is to improve the profitability of the doctors that our licensees work with, and not seeing patients that don't have insurance is a good way to do that. So yeah, that goes a long way again towards achieving the highest amount of profitability for them.
Yeah, so basically the patient walks in, they ask them for their insurance card. On the back, there's a number of some kind. The front office people can just type that number in, and instantly, in real time, our system connects with the insurance company's database over the internet. Looks at the status of that patient and sees whether they're eligible for this visit and this procedure. And then immediately, if the front office likes what they see there, the eligibility is there, they can push a button and create the patient chart from the insurance company's database. So we know it's accurate, and it's, of course, saves a lot of time as well.
Yeah.
Also has drawing tools built into it. The doctor can literally pull up a picture or a drawing of a foot, for example, and circle where the actual pain is according to the patient. Or they can actually take a picture of the patient's foot and insert that right into their records, again, right across the internet, right there on our cloud-based system on the iPad. Prescriptions. Yes, e-prescriptions. This is cool because the doctor can actually order the prescriptions right there while they're seeing the patient, and it literally could be ready and at the drugstore before the patient even leaves the office. He also can review all the medications that other providers have prescribed, because the e-prescription system is kind of a nationwide system that keeps track of the prescriptions for a particular patient nationwide, no matter who prescribed it.
Right. Yeah, which is, of course, very important to make sure different doctors aren't prescribing conflicting medications and things along those lines. So, yeah, that's a huge tool for everybody involved.
Yeah, or that the patient isn't going from one doctor to another getting the same, painkiller, for example, from 5 different doctors.
Yeah, true. Very true.
This is really cool here. There are built-in easy interviews, over 2,000 preloaded interviews that assist the staff in capturing the patient complaints. In other words, it's got all the questions one by one in there that the doctor or the staff member can ask the patient, and then they just click through yes, no, and they're just answering the questions there to the patient right online in real time.
Yeah.
All the vital signs can be charted. We've got all kinds of graphs, pie charts, and bar charts to compare all the results from previous encounters. And the doctor and their staff can monitor the patients with CDC compliant growth charts for children, for example. So it's all built in and tied into the CDC, that's the Center for Disease Control, charts about children. And here's a pretty cool part of it. Dirk, why don't you explain a little bit about the dictation?
Well, yeah, another benefit of operating native on the iPad is that we're able to take advantage of the technology available, of course. But yeah, a doctor can actually tap on the microphone there and dictate their notes into the patient record. Saves them some time from actually typing, of course, and just even adds that much more efficiency. But once they've verbally dictated those notes into the system there, becomes a permanent part of that patient's record, and follows that patient throughout their record, I guess, their time. So yeah, that's just another huge benefit for the doctors.
Yeah, when the doctors first see this, they're really excited about it, because they spend hours after hours, many times, dictating notes into some sort of device, and then someone has to transcribe those notes into their records. Well, this is doing it for them. You literally are talking to your iPad, and when you get through and tap that microphone the second time, it translates it into the text that you see there like that on the screen. So pretty high tech. It doesn't get any more high tech than that. And this one I really love. The doctors can actually use our system for doing virtual office visits. So we have a patient portal that the patients can log into, and they can actually schedule their appointments online. Then at the appointed time, they can appear along with the doctor there on their computer or device through a teleconference that can be billed to the payers. The insurance companies actually pay for these what they call virtual office visits. And so it's a pretty good way for a doctor, if he wants to or she wants to, book appointments in their off hours and make additional income right there from their desk at home.
Sure. Yeah.
And then it also has an e-store built into it that the patients can purchase any of the recommended products. For example, a lot of chiropractors and DOs, Doctor of Osteopathic Medicine, they recommend different products and herbs and creams and things. And you can list those right here on our portal and get paid on any product that's out there linked on Amazon.com. So it's a great way for the doctor to offer the particular products that he wants to offer to his patients and keep up with that in real time. So anyway, that's the end of the actual slideshow that we provide for you guys to present to the doctor. And as you can see, it ends up by saying, ask for a private demo. Well, you're the one, of course, that sets that demo up for the doctor. So I thought I would just let people see what we've developed for them there to really show the whiz-bang, features of the product and the services that they have. Hey, I'm seeing a couple of questions come in here, and I thought we would just address them, starting there with Richard.
Yeah, sure. Richard asked, are there still incentives for doctors to switch over to electronic health records or electronic medical records, as they're commonly referred to? And yes, there still currently is an early adoption incentive being given from the government. Patrick, what is the dollar amount of that now?
I have no idea, but I'm sure that our people know that. I think, now, Dirk, I could be wrong. I know that this year, there's something like $12,000 left, I think, in that incentive. It started out, as you know, way up there, $40,000 or something like that. So the doctors still have money that is, like you said, called an incentive for them to get involved in the meaningful use of a electronic health record system like ours.
Right. Yeah, I was thinking the number was a little higher than that still this year, but to answer your question there, Richard, there is still an early adoption incentive, and of course that's definitely the preferable way to go, because it is going to turn into a penalty at some point for those that haven't converted to a meaningful use certified electronic medical records platform. So here's another question, Patrick, from Samuel. It's my understanding that dental offices and hospitals are not really a target for ABS licensees. Is this correct? It is so far. Dentists and hospitals, they're both part of different billing systems altogether. They follow different claim forms, things along those lines. I don't know if Patrick wants to tease anybody with something that we're working on with hospitals, but currently our licensees work with everybody that files on claim form 1500. It's everybody that you would typically think of when you think of a doctor, surgeon, specialist, sleep centers, ambulatory services, chiropractors. So the overwhelming majority of those folks that we think of in that capacity, our systems work for.
Yeah. So think of it this way. What we are specialists in, folks, is training and supporting people in medical billing. Now, it's not that hospitals, of course, is not a medical billing, but it's a completely different system. And believe me, your opportunity with hospitals would be a little bit of nothing, because they have their own systems. They're very expensive. They're very robust systems that handle all sorts of things, including all the products and services from aspirin to cotton balls and every other aspect that is involved in a hospital visit. So that is not your market. As far as dentists are concerned, there are dentists, of course, who take insurance. But folks, if you measured that against a bar chart of the people in your community who have health insurance, medical insurance, the dental is a mere fraction of the marketplace out there. So I tell people, if you're interested in the dental market, there are other systems out there available for doing dental billing. But it's a very specialized type of system, completely different, using the American Dental Association forms, not the forms that Medicare came up with for medical billing. So I tell people, look, go out and do a search in your area for for the dentist versus the medical doctors, and you'll see there are many multiples of specialties in the medical field versus the dental. So it's not really your key market. You should aim at the market that's the largest when you get into any business. And if you sign up all the doctors in your area, then you might think about going and signing up a dentist here and there.
Sure.
We've just never seen that as a big market at all, so we just don't specialize that at all.
No, right.
All right.
We have a ton of questions rolling in here, Patrick. I don't know if you want to move on into the educational marketing part of the webinar, or if we want to keep answering a few questions here.
Sure.
One last one here that I'll answer from Samuel, if nothing else. What percentage? He's going back to the product demonstrations that we do on behalf of our licensees, asking what percent of the time would you estimate the licensee is on-site or off-site with the doctor during the demo? And I don't know exactly what the percentage breakdown would be there. We rarely know. I rarely know where everybody's located on a demo, but that again kind of speaks to the flexibility of this. You may be working with a potential doctor who's 2 time zones away. So of course in that instance, you're probably not going to be sitting next to them. But that's completely up to the licensee, of course, as to whether or not they actually want to be there with the doctor in their office when the demo is being performed. But it's never a bad idea, of course. Although, like Patrick mentioned, our folks are going to be answering any and all questions that come up. But it's always good still to be sitting there with them, and who knows? Maybe at the end of that demonstration, they're ready to sign your proposal and have you go to work for them. So, but that is completely at the discretion of the licensee.
Yes, and I've gotten a feel from our support department, Dirk, that there's probably about a third of the licensees that are actually on site with the doctor during the demo. Again, that's a personal choice. Now, if it were my business and the doctor were local, I would try to arrange it so that I'm there, with them in the office to watch the demo, listen to the answers to the questions, and then be prepared to actually work through the agreement there with the doctor and show them the proposal that you came up with from the practice analysis that we teach people to do. So, yeah, good question.
All right. Well, should we continue with the questions, or do you want to move on?
I'm going to move on here, but you can jump in there anytime you want to with a question. So, Educational marketing. Now, I tell people, look, when you think about it, people in today's world, they don't want to buy when you're ready to sell something to them, right? They want to buy when they're ready. So the way you get them ready is to help educate them to the point where they want to find out more about what you do. So one of the reasons that I wrote this book along with a CPA friend of mine, Cash Crunch to Cash Flow, how to get more money faster into your professional practice or small business and plug the hidden leaks that are draining profits. The reason we came out with this is because this is a generic book about the cash revenue for doctors and how to solve that, not being specific about any of the products and services that you have, but showing that there are solutions in the marketplace that happen to be, of course, our products and services. So it's a great marketing tool for you as a licensee to educate the doctor and the office manager on the reasons why they should at least look more carefully at what you have to offer. And that's just one of many tools that we have available, of course. We've developed and spent over $100,000 developing the marketing flyers, postcards, proposals, presentation folders, all the things that help present our services to the doctor and, again, educate them on the reasons why they should get involved with our products and services. We'll show you how to do drip marketing, it's called, so that regularly you're educating the doctor and their staff about your products and services so that when they do decide that, oh, maybe I should look into outsourcing my billing, you've already educated them and kept your name at the top of their mind. Sure.
Yeah. And as you mentioned, you can almost kind of see there, but each of these flyers and things, of course, will have the licensee's information on them, their company name, their contact info, things along those lines. So it really helps the licensee to even look that much more professional when they are speaking with these doctors.
Yeah, I mean, it's not that you couldn't come up with something on your own for marketing, but why reinvent the wheel, right? We've already spent a lot of money on professional graphic people who develop these, and then the printing of these on nice, heavy, slick paper, so that it's a very professional. You look much larger than you really are, because
Right.
again, most of our licensees, as we mentioned at the beginning, they still do work out of their home. The doctors don't come to your home. You go to them and meet them in their office. What they want to know is, do you have the backing to be able to, do the billing for them accurately? Well, folks, we've been doing this for 20 years. You have us as the nation's largest network of independent medical billing companies in the United States behind you to help reassure the doctor that we can do their billing and save them money and, in fact, bring in more money. Um, we, again, are the nation's largest network of independent medical billing companies out there. So we have the experience. It's kind of like I relate this sometimes, Dirk, to like a Century 21 office. Our licensees are opening up their local office of offering our services, but it's not like a franchise. So they're not tied to us. They're not responsible for a particular territory. There are no territories. Nothing is anything like that. And there's no royalties, of course, paid to us. They make and keep all the profits on all their services.
Right. Yeah, best of both worlds. They're able to operate as an independent business, but like you say, with the backing of the nation's largest. So it is the best of both worlds.
Yeah. Let's see. I see a question here from Kuldeep, I guess it is. How the data could be integrated from other EMR to EMRX. Well, that's pretty simple. There's a standard out there in the marketplace called HL7, Health Level 7 is what that stands for. And it's just a language that electronic medical record systems are written in, and it's a standard language. So all of the EHRs can speak to one another if they're on that HL7 standard, which most of them are. So obviously, they can talk to one another, they can integrate, they can import data from one system to another if they're what's called HL7. That's the only thing that you have to think about when you're out there talking to other, doctors who have other systems. Yeah. I see. I'm just glancing at the questions here too, Dirk, as we go along.
Well, and I see one here. This is a question we get asked quite a bit. This particular question: will this business work in Canada? Um, uh, the business can be operated, I think Patrick mentioned earlier, from anywhere in the world that you can obtain an internet connection, but it does have to work with doctors that are part of the United States healthcare system. So the licensee or whoever they may have helping them with their business, they don't necessarily have to be located within the U.S., but their doctors do. So, or at least part of the United States healthcare system, in the territories, Guam, things along those lines. So.
Yeah, so we've had people from different parts of the world come through our training because they have contacts or sales reps here in the United States signing up the doctors here. Again, the U.S. medical system is based on standardized forms and payment systems from the insurance companies that's standardized for the United States and does not work in other parts of the world. But you could certainly do the billing from Europe if you wanted to, because again, as long as you have an internet connection, you can certainly do the work. It's just that it has to be a doctor located in the United States. Okay, so let's talk about this consultative marketing. What do we mean by that? Dirk, let's talk about that practice analysis. Explain a little bit about, I mentioned that earlier.
Well, that's the very first goal of a licensee or their sales reps or whoever is responsible for doing that. But it's to sit down with someone on the doctor's end and find out more about their operation. Figure out all sorts of things dealing with all different aspects of their practice. But I guess we're kind of turning the tables on them. We're trying to diagnose them and figure out exactly what's wrong with their practice or if there is anything wrong with it. Of course, normally there is, but it's a good chance for our licensees to learn more about them. Goes a long way towards establishing that relationship that is so desperately needed. But it allows our licensee to gather that info and then work with our support folks to put together a proposal to go back to the doctor and show them how we can help them, and actually even quantify the amount that we'll be able to help them with. So, as we mentioned earlier, a lot of doctors currently, they struggle to even provide accurate answers when our licensees are conducting these practice analysis, because they just don't have access or the right tools that they really need to accurately and adequately manage their business. But this is the first step. Like I said, to conduct that practice analysis, find out exactly what's going on within that practice, and figure out all the ways that we can help.
Yeah, so it's just a series of questions, basically, that we teach you how to go through. In fact, in our live training workshop, we work through this question by question so that you can ask questions about the questions if you wish. We give you the standard answers that you'll be hearing from people, and how to interpret those for making that proposal. Now, it's pretty simple. You can go through these questions probably in 20 or 30 minutes with an office manager. That's usually who has the information for these practice analyses. And then you can come back to your office and, using one of our pre-designed proposal templates, actually come up with the proposal that's presenting to the doctor the solutions to his cash flow challenges that you have decided to offer. In other words, which services out of the 8 that we have do you want to offer the doctor? Well, you pull those out that you don't want to offer out of these templates, and just using an editor like Word, you can actually create your proposal. Now, as far as the pricing, though, that's one of the good things. We've been around doing this for 20 years. We kind of know where the pricing should be for any particular type of doctor. You don't want to lose money. You don't want to leave money on the table. So you don't want to underprice, but then you don't want to overprice either, because you might not even get the client. So we kind of know how to guide you on that and can give you recommendations. Now, remember, it's your business. You can price it any way you want to, but we can tell you where we would price it for you to, get the business. Remember, we make money on the transactions on the back end from our technology partners. You don't pay us anything, but the technology partners do when you sign up a doctor. So we want you to sign up as many doctors as possible.
Absolutely. Yeah, it's we're more successful when our licensees are more successful.
All right. And then those proposals go into a nice professional-looking proposal folder like you see here. Your business card goes in there. Some of our flyers can go inside that. And it comes across, again, folks, as somebody who's not just working out of their spare bedroom that just started their own medical billing company, but somebody who has really some backing behind them to be able to have this type of material that presents them as a professional, which they are. Then we also have another tool that I wanted to show here. I've actually blown up a screenshot of this. It's a spreadsheet basically that we've created that has some formulas built into it. So once you've gotten that practice analysis, you're going to come back and drop in the numbers that office manager gave you for that particular doctor's office. Let's take this one, for example, here. This is a typical doctor's office, a general practitioner. And we put in there 400 claims that they file monthly. That's 100 a week, basically, 20 a day. Folks, there's doctors who see 20 patients an hour. It depends on how big the practice is, of course. But a single practitioner, or one that has 1 or 2 doctors, would generally file about 400 to 600 claims a month. Now, those claims will vary in face value, but we've got on here an average of $125. You'll find that some are way up there. It depends on if it's a surgeon, of course, they could be an average of $5,000, per claim. Then you'll drop in, of course, the uncollected claim rate that they now have. They generally know that from the software that they're using, and generally they write that off on their taxes, but they would, of course, be better off having the money in their bank account. So you drop that number in. Then our calculations come up with the money that's actually collected for that doctor. You're also going to drop in whatever outsourcing fee that they may be paying now, or if their staff is doing it, what they're paying their staff and the benefits to do that in-house. They'll also have some software subscription and upgrade and support fees that you can drop in. And so you'll basically have a bottom line number as to what that practice revenue is after their costs of billing. Then we project, of course, all of our claims are less than 2% nationwide. So we have the 2% that you see right here. And then that's, of course, going to increase their money collected considerably As you can see, it's done the calculation there, came up with $49,000. The cost to you, paying you as the ABS licensee to do the billing. I think this is based, Dirk, isn't it on, is this like a 7% example, I think?
I have to run them. I can't do that quickly in my head, but yeah, probably right around there.
Yeah, and so that's what they would be paying you each month. But even with this in here, and even with any kind of software subscriptions, which the doctor would pay for, not you, they're going to increase their revenue considerably here. As you can see, it's an increase of about 78%, from $24,000 to $43,000 a month. That's an increase of $19,000 a month, folks. That's almost $250,000 a year. That's nothing to sneeze at.
Oh yeah, and that's without seeing even one additional patient.
Right. This is with the exact number of claims that they are sending through now. It's just the huge difference here is in the rejection rate that we're going to reduce that down to 2%, less than 2%. Now it varies, of course, from doctor's office to doctor's office. We've seen some of these as high as 60%, but that's the nationwide average that we have from the American Medical Association. All right. Let's see, Dirk. We got about 10 minutes here. Let's look at some other questions. Anything else over here?
Well, yeah, there are tons of them rolling in. Here's one from Thomas. Hey, Thomas, good to see you on here. Asking about computer hardware sales and support for doctors. We don't sell any hardware. There's nothing physically to sell or to be physically installed into the computers, or doctor's computers, or your computers, or anything along those lines. Again, everything is web-based, so it's logging into an application and going from there. So there is no actual hardware.
But if the doctor needs new hardware, of course, we've had licensees connect with people in their community that do sell and install computers and printers and so forth. And so you can also, connect with those kinds of people. And if you wish to, get involved in that, to help the doctor, maybe upgrade their system. But as far as that is concerned, if they have a computer that connects to the internet, that's about all they need, isn't it, Dirk? There's no memory requirements or hard disk space. Nothing is stored on their computer. It's all in the cloud there.
No, that's right.
Let's see. Richard says, do you offer any marketing materials that can be offered to doctors that someone wants to partner with to start the medical billing business together? Marketing materials that can be offered to doctors. Richard, I'm assuming that you're thinking that you maybe have a doctor friend that you want to partner with. We don't have any marketing materials that we send out about our opportunity, if that's what you're asking. We certainly would let them go through our virtual brochure, just like you could if you haven't already. So we'd certainly be glad to give them access to that. Just get back with your ABS rep and ask about that. Now, folks, there's a lot of people out there who, because they don't think of themselves as salespeople, don't want to be involved in sales. We tell them, look, we have an entire training program for finding sales rep. There are people out there, believe it or not, who love to sell, who are money motivated, and who like to interface with people about products and services. So we teach you how to find those people, how to interview them, how to hire them, of course, how to train them, and how to pay them. They're paid, generally speaking, on commission only, which means you don't have to put out any money until they bring you a contract signed by the doctor with a setup fee that covers that commission. So it's a wonderful way for licensees who don't have the time or the inclination to do any type of marketing at all. You still can have contracts brought to you through our sales rep program. We go into that in detail in our live training workshop. And of course, we have people here at the office that can work with you on that and help you find those people and figure out how to get them out there bringing the business to you.
Right. Yeah,
so really,
a lot of our, I was just going to say, for those that don't know, a lot of our licensees do start off on a part-time basis. So, working with those sales reps, that's a way to, actually have more of a full-time effort while the licensee still has their full-time job. So, another great way to get into the business.
Absolutely. Now, we had a visitor here yesterday, like we encourage people to do. Some people come down and visit us here in our offices. And this fellow came down, flew in from another state, and asked a very pertinent question. The first question he asked, Dirk, was, I just want to know if you guys are how in the world are you going to train me everything I need to know in 5 days? So I thought I would just talk a little bit about our training class. First of all, folks, as you can see from this picture here, this is our classroom that we use. It's in the Spring Hill Suites hotel here near the Dallas-Fort Worth Airport. And as you can see, it holds about a maximum of 20 people. I think this was one of our fuller classes here, Dirk. And so they're very personalized. Really, they're small enough to be able to get the questions to all your answers to all your questions and get some one-on-one time with our instructors during the week. But you also have enough people in the class to build a support group from the very get-go of other people who are starting in business just like you are. So it's a wonderful way to interact with those people. But Dirk, why don't you talk to them a little bit about the training and how we bring in the laptops and actually get them hands-on into the system their first day?
Well, yeah, and it starts off with, our trainers are existing licensees. So, I think that goes a long way. It's not us up there telling folks, hey, do this, do that. It's existing licensees, successful existing licensees that are up there sharing, some of the methods that they've used to get to where they have gotten. But it really goes a long way, I think, hearing it and learning it from someone else that's in the trenches and doing exactly what, our new licensees are going to be doing. But yes, it's I mentioned earlier, it's a very hands-on approach during the training. You do have the laptops. You'll actually be submitting claims. I think it's by noon the second day you're actually submitting claims into the system and figuring out how that works and learning really how simple it is. But you see here, we're in the slide here, we're doing some interactions and some role playing and things along those lines. So it is, you mentioned it, you can't learn everything in 5 days, but gosh, it builds a really strong foundation. As I mentioned earlier again, that once you walk out of the class on the Friday afternoon, you're ready to go. There are going to be times where you're going to be taking advantage of our lifetime training and lifetime support, but this 5-day class is it's not mandatory, but it is something we strongly suggest our licensees to take advantage of.
Yeah, and of course, again, the answer to that question, how do you teach everything in 5 days that we need to know, is we don't. We teach you enough to get your business started, and we do have licensees leave that class, and literally within the first couple of weeks, 30 days, some of them 60 days, immediately after the training, people are going out and signing up clients. So we know that what we teach is adequate to get you going. Now, does that mean you'll know every single aspect of the things there are to know? No. We have our licensee support site that I showed you earlier that has hours and hours. I would guess, Dirk, there's probably, 50, 60 hours on the licensee support site of additional training that you can get by just clicking and watching from any device. Again, you can watch on your iPhone, you can watch on your iPad, any tablet, any computer anywhere that's connected to the internet, and you can watch those training sessions as you have time to do it. So it's ongoing training. We have webinars on a regular basis. We have one this Friday that's being held for our licensees. So we have ongoing training that will keep you up on what's going on out there and train you in every aspect of the business in detail. I see a question here about commissions. Mark was wanting to know how quickly, can you show quickly how commissions are paid and how they're determined? Mark, that's a whole session in our live training workshop, but it boils down to this. Every licensee, it's their business. They can run it the way they want to, but we recommend that you give a percentage of the setup fee. Now remember, there are setup fees in just about everything that's sold nowadays, and there is for doctors especially. Something like this has usually a pretty hefty setup fees, sometimes $3,000, $4,000, $5,000 per provider. Out of that, you're going to pay a percentage of that, sometimes up to 50% of that, to your sales rep. And then we recommend paying an ongoing, small, tiny little percentage of the percentage that you collect, that you're paid, for the money that you collect for the doctor. That way, that sales rep has an ongoing motivation to continue bringing you business. And we'll show you, we have agreements worked out for all that, and we go into detail in that in the training. Dirk, tell them about this article here and how they can get a copy of this.
Well, just ask your representative, and we'll be sure to send you a copy of it. I alluded earlier, you, Patrick, have been published in a number of magazines and various publications. This one's a great one. A lot of people still have questions as to how the Affordable Care Act affects the medical billing side of the industry, and this article talks about how it's a huge opportunity. Especially since it's really the pie is growing essentially from the Affordable Care Act. So. But yeah, just ask your representative you're working with. We're glad to email this to you. And again, we talked about the books earlier. If you'd like to have a copy of any of Patrick's books, let us know. We'll be happy to email those to you as well.
Yeah, I'm going to put our guarantee on the screen here while I talk about one other thing. Thomas, I saw your question there about the VA billing. I'm going to pass that on to your ABS rep because that's a pretty specific question about that particular marketplace that some people wouldn't even know what we were talking about there. And Nigya, I hope I'm pronouncing that right, says, do licensees pay any royalty fees? How much is that? No. Once someone has paid our lifetime licensing fee, which is $24,990, that gets their ability to come to the training and, of course, lifetime support after that. There are no additional fees ever paid to us for anything. I put this in about 3 years ago, Dirk. At one time we had a guarantee, but it wasn't anything really to be excited about. This one, I don't know of anybody who offers anything like this anywhere in any business. Do you?
Not at all.
And it basically says, if at any time during the training workshop, for any reason you don't think this business is right for you, simply tell any staff member and they'll arrange for you to receive a full refund of your license fee. Dirk, there's no weasel words in that guarantee, is there? There's no way to weasel out of anything. It's pretty straightforward.
Absolutely. Yeah, you don't have to hire an attorney to interpret that one.
No. And we have had that happen, by the way. In the 20 years we've been doing this, 3 people have asked, and there's very specific reasons why this business may not be for a particular person. So that's why we came up with the guarantee. But the nice thing about it is that the people at the end of the workshop do think wonders of it. And I'm going to show a little clip here at the end here of the testimonials from our very last training workshop, 2 weeks ago? Yeah, 2 weeks ago. So I'll show that here in just a second. It's 2 or 3 minutes long. Meanwhile, hey, this class coming up, Dirk, it's going to sell out. We know that for sure.
Yeah, no doubt about it. I mentioned earlier we've already had verbal commitments for about twice the size of the class. So it really will be just whoever gets the reservations to get all the paperwork finalized and get it sent in. But yeah, it's going to be full.
Yeah, so folks, if you're doing your due diligence, trying to put your funding together, we are not rushing you in that, but we're honestly when we say that we will be turning people away from this class. We know that from the projected numbers from our consultants. So I would get your due diligence done, and if you haven't talked to some references, ask your ABS rep for some of the numbers, phone numbers of some of our existing licensees. I mean, Dirk and I, we could tell you just about anything, right? But our licensees that have been through the training, have done their due diligence, and have experienced and are experiencing our support will be the ones that can answer most of your questions. So be sure and call us and let us know what we can do to help you move forward. Well, Dirk, thanks for being on here today. I'm going to wrap up here with this little clip from the last training. And meanwhile, folks, if we don't see you at one of the upcoming trainings pretty soon, just continue to be on these webinars. We do these every Wednesday at 3 o'clock Central Time, and ask your ABS rep how you can be on the next one. Thanks again, Dirk.
Thank you, Patrick. Enjoy it.
I researched this for about 3 months, never talked to a single person. This is amazing. The opportunity, you only need a few doctors, and I wasn't even looking for a business opportunity, and I'm so glad I came. Amazing.
It might seem a little overwhelming, but by the end of the week, it still will feel overwhelming, but you'll feel confident about it going forward. And it's exciting.
The course was excellent. The instruction was just everything that I expected, and I hope to be successful very soon.
If you're thinking about coming with ABS, definitely do it. Everything I looked into before I came down here, I thought I learned a lot. nothing compared to what I learned when I got here. Great. Definitely do it.
The training was fantastic, very intense. I couldn't dream that it would be as intense as it was. There's more learning, more studying, but I'm sure it would be very profitable as time goes on, because that is my goal, to be successful.
And I can tell you that this class was excellent. Actually beat my expectations because they covered every possible scenario I could think of. I had a number of questions coming in. They covered all of it. So if you're on the fence, I would say it's definitely a great opportunity. I definitely think you should show up.